like as an example, in many cases, the NATO countries. We're always there for NATO. We're helping them with Ukraine. And it's got a notion that between us doesn't affect us, that we've helped them. It'd be interesting to see what country wouldn't help us with a very small endeavor, which is just keeping the Strait open. And by comparison, it's small because Iran has very little firepower left.
President Donald Trump has said that his administration is asking several countries to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open, as tensions continue during the conflict involving Iran. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump said the United States has been discussing the issue with multiple nations, and hopes some of them will send naval forces to help protect shipping routes. However, he did not identify which countries are currently involved in those discussions. Trump also suggested that many of the countries being asked are NATO allies, and said the United States has supported NATO partners on a number of international security issues in the past. He said it would be important to see which countries might assist in maintaining safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, which he described as a critical global shipping route. Earlier in an interview with the Financial Times, Trump warned that the future of NATO cooperation could be affected if allies do not help ensure that the strait remains open to global shipping. The comments come as energy markets continue reacting to the conflict in the region. Oil prices have increased significantly as uncertainty grows about whether shipments through the Strait of Hormuz could be disrupted. The strait is one of the most strategically important energy routes in the world, connecting the Persian Gulf with the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Following Trump's remarks, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer spoke with the U.S. president. According to a statement from Downing Street, the two leaders discussed the current situation and the importance of maintaining global shipping routes. However, reports from the United Kingdom suggest that London has not yet committed to sending naval forces to the region. According to reporting from The Telegraph, the British government is still evaluating its options. UK Energy Secretary Ed Miliband said the government is examining what steps could help stabilize the situation, but did not confirm any specific military deployment. France and Germany have also indicated caution about participating in a naval mission in the region, signaling that discussions with allies are still ongoing. At the same time, Trump has suggested that China could also play a role in maintaining stability in the Strait of Hormuz. He noted that many countries, including China and several European economies, rely heavily on oil that passes through the Gulf. Trump said the issue could become part of broader discussions with Chinese President Xi Jinping during a future meeting, and he indicated that the outcome of those discussions could influence scheduling of a potential summit. The reason the Strait of Hormuz is so important is because of the massive amount of global energy that passes through it every day. According to data compiled from the International Energy Agency and the U.S. Energy Information Administration, global oil demand averaged about 104 million barrels per day in the first half of the year. Roughly 70% of global oil demand is transported by sea, and more than 90% of that maritime trade passes through a small number of key choke points around the world. The Strait of Hormuz is considered one of the most critical of those routes. In the first half of last year, oil flows through the strait averaged about 20.9 million barrels per day. That represents roughly 20% of global oil consumption and about 1/4 of the world's seaborne oil trade. Because of this, any disruption to the strait can have major effects on global energy markets. To discuss the broader implications, analysts and researchers are examining both the geopolitical and economic consequences of the situation. One researcher, Jack Rowe from the London School of Economics, said that the blockade concerns are creating pressure on multiple sectors of the global economy. He noted that the energy sector is closely monitoring developments and that government officials have been trying to reassure markets that the conflict may stabilize. Rowe also pointed out that financial markets have reacted to the situation, including declines in some banking stocks after reports of potential risks to financial interests connected to the Gulf region. According to Rowe, if the conflict continues to disrupt oil shipments, economic pressure could increase globally. Energy prices have already risen significantly in recent weeks, and some analysts say further increases are possible if the situation escalates. Some projections have suggested that oil prices could potentially reach extremely high levels if major supply disruptions occur, although analysts say the exact outcome will depend on how long the conflict continues and whether shipping routes remain open. Even if the United States produces enough energy domestically, changes in global oil supply can still affect prices worldwide because energy markets are interconnected. Rowe also noted that several major economies depend heavily on oil transported through the Gulf, including countries in the European Union, as well as Japan and South Korea. If the supply of oil moving through the Strait of Hormuz decreases, those economies could face higher energy costs, which may slow economic growth. At the same time, some analysts believe that certain countries could see economic advantages depending on how global energy trade shifts during the conflict. Because of these factors, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz remains one of the most closely watched developments in global energy markets. For now, international discussions about how to maintain shipping security in the region are continuing. And as diplomatic talks, military planning, and economic pressures evolve, the impact of the situation could extend far beyond the region itself. If you want to stay updated on major geopolitical and economic developments like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it so more people can stay informed.